Hello everyone, welcome. It's Wednesday the 30th of September. I'm Diane and this is my channel where I share my hobby cross stitch. Big thank you to everybody who's watched in the past, who's subscribed, left a thumbs up or left me a comment. I really do appreciate it. I enjoy the interaction, and if you're watching for the first time, thank you for giving me a go, and I hope you find something you like seeing. It's been a while, and that was because of work. Yeah, more about that later, maybe. But do you remember this? Folkart by the Stitch Company. And I stitched this one with one colour of Venus and one colour of Waterlilies, the Caron Collection. It's back from the framers, and I'm really quite pleased this time. So, yes, there we are. I don't know which side it was when I first collected it 3 or 4 weeks ago, but one of the sides was completely bent in. It was just not very pretty at all, and I asked her to take a look at it and redo it. And yeah, she wasn't too pleased at first, but she kind of got the message that it wasn't really professionally done. And she said she'd try, and then she called me up about 10 days later, and she said she thought she'd finally done it, and she said she told me she'd learned a lot about framing embroidery. Now, she's done a lot in the past, but it's always been the more stiffer cheese linen and Ada, and this fabric was really floppy. And she said as soon as she had it straightened out and she turned it over to finalize the back to seal it, everything would move. It would just somehow manage to slip, even though it was stuck down on mat board. So what she did in the end was cut this mat board, or we call it in Dutch passepartout, and that helped her to line it up, and it kept the embroidery still while she got the back on. I'm really pleased now. I do see a couple of imperfections in it, but it's quite heavy. But now I can live with them. Somehow, when I see a slight little twist in something there, it's just part of the story of this embroidery. And take a look at the back. We've got 2 hangers that way and one top and bottom, so I can hang it any which way I like. She'd never done that before either. So I was really pleased about that. I don't know if you can actually see the frame. I'll hold it closer. It's a bit of a pinky brown, and it's got a sort of a gold edge to it. And when I unwrapped it and I got it home to show my daughters, sorry, I'm just going to put this down safely. They obviously liked it. My husband was there as well, and I was waiting for him to cringe, because if you don't already know, he really can't stand embroidery. That's just his personal preference. And instead he was quite neutral. He looked at it and said he didn't feel anything either way, which is a huge step forward from actual loathing. And then he looked at the blank space above our fireplace and asked me, do you want me to drill a hole? I couldn't believe it. He was offering to hang it in our living room. Now, I don't really think that kind of picture is suitable for a chimney breast, but he's getting used to embroidery in the house. Good thing. Now, yeah, I didn't film for a while because of work, and work really can be a 4-letter word sometimes. To start with, the first week there was almost nothing to do. I just sat there and stared at a blank computer screen until it went dark, and then I would reawaken it and stare at it some more. So I started going through internet sites and looking at a couple of Dutch sites, seeing what they had to offer for hobby stuff. And on the second day I looked at AliExpress. Literally, I looked at every kit they had to offer, and I think there could be thousands. And by the third day I'd had enough and I took my embroidery into work, and that is absolutely not allowed. There are two brothers that are partners and they own the firm. One of them found a Sudoku puzzle in my drawer one time, and it was an old one. It had been kicking around for ages, and he went berserk about how he wasn't paying me to sit there doing nothing. Find me some work then. So I needed embroidery that whenever I heard his feet down the corridor, I could quickly throw in the bottom drawer, close the bottom drawer. And my pre-printed fox was just perfect for that. This is how much I've got done now. I've got all of his tail done and the little trees and part of his head. Obviously all this green will be yellow and all this blue will become orange. It's printed in contrasting colours. Absolutely ideal. All of the stitching that I've done here I did at times where it would have been almost impossible to stitch from a chart, either a paper or on a tablet. So I stitched in full sun. I stitched when the wind was blowing. I stitched in the car, and I stitched at work. And literally, when I hear my boss behind me, I dropped it in the bottom drawer and closed the bottom drawer. And that's how much I've got done. It's quite a bit. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking at pre-printed canvases in the future. They really do have a place. There's also, I did stitching sometimes at home when I was busy cooking or being disturbed by other things, trying to concentrate on television rather than concentrate on counting. It's ideal. Downside to this kit is there's not a lot of margin on it. And what else? Yeah, I've only ever seen them in 11 or 14 count. And if I hold that up quite close, you can see these lines are really quite thin, and it's extremely accurately printed. There's no reason on earth why they couldn't do an 18 or a 20 count canvas. Yeah, that was a surprise, because I always had a bad opinion of pre-printed canvases, and this Ada has actually softened up really nicely. I'm enjoying it. It fills in moments where I would like to stitch and otherwise can't. What else did I manage? Paranormal Halloween. This is by Twin Peak Primitives, Nurse and Nerdan Cumber. I think Nursen designed this one. And as you can see, I've got a lot more of the blocks done. I think, no, my blocks are now finished. I miscounted here. There should have been an extra row of yellow. So when I did the words, what does it say? Halloween Bunny. When I had to type the words in there, stitch the words in, there isn't a space between them. But I didn't want to frog the rabbit. All I have left to do now is Purranormal Halloween. It's charted in brown, but I don't think the brown looks very good against the purple fabric. So I'll probably just do it in black. Sorry, moving things carefully. I've got to clip this one. It's just too see-through otherwise. And this is my popcorn. Is it by Graves and Banks or Banks and Graves? Autumn. I've got a lot more done. And I'm really pleased that I think I've got about all this done since you last saw it. I'm really pleased that I've got this much done, because I didn't get off on the right foot with this kit. There's at least half a dozen colours of pale beige and pale creams, and I had a dreadful time sorting them out. And when I started stitching, it said 2 strands per cross or whatever over one. And I think I was about almost halfway through the tree or something, and I realised I wasn't going to have enough floss. So I looked at the instructions again, and it said 1 strand over 1. I'm thinking, I'm going mad. I'm sure I read 2, and I did. The English instructions said 1 strand, and the Dutch instructions said 2. Yeah, I'm not too happy about that. And then there have been other moments that I've had to frog. The symbols on the chart are really, really tiny. not on the chart, sorry, on the key, are really tiny. And I've mixed them up now 2 or 3 times and then had to frog a load out. And then one time frogging, I managed to stick the needle, blunt needle, right in my thumb, and I've got blood on it somewhere, which probably goes with the, I don't know where it is now. There's a mustard stain on one of the edges somewhere as well. And then yesterday I was stitching it, and I'm stitching in hand, and I felt the back and thought, something's odd here. Yeah, I'd stitched my scarf in it. I don't think I've ever made that mistake before. So this one, yeah, it's a challenge. I'll just leave it as challenged. There are other words I could use to describe it. This is what it's going to look like when it's finished. And then hopefully I'll frame it or turn it into a card or something for my mum and dad. And then this one. This is another kit by RTO. And with DMC floss, and this is on 14 count Ada. I think the popcorn was 16 count Ada. Look how much I've got. Sorry, there we go. Hold it still for you. I think I've just about got all of this done. I am really enjoying this one. That's what it's going to look like when it's finished. I love roses. I love roses. And I just love the colours on this one. Look at these pretty colours. Aren't they gorgeous? They're glorious colours. Really happy, sunshiny colours. Yeah, I recently joined a group on Facebook, Cross Stitch Township. It's a closed group, and they have challenges, and I was able to fit this rose in, and I was able to fit the popcorn autumn in, which is really handy. And one of the challenges they had was for something new, no, not something new, stitch on a Mirabilia or a pretty lady. Well, I didn't have one at the time. Can you guess? Doesn't look like anything, does it? It's Mirabelia, the Duchess of Rouen. And what I've got done is just literally a tiny bit of pink here. This is a stitch along with StitchEm, although she hasn't started hers yet. But I've got her, StitchEm is listed below in the information box, as well as the hashtag for this, if you were thinking of joining in. I tried all different kinds of fabrics for this, and then I thought, let's try and pick something close. Mine's a bit more apricot-y. I think that works out quite nice. And I'm just going to stitch it in DMCs. This colour, the oval shape around here, you can just see, is I think a Waterlilies. Yeah, a Caron Waterlilies. I don't think I'll bother getting that. I've got various variegated silvery greys. I'll just pick one for that. And I don't think I'm going to bead it. When I do stitch things with beading, I still stitch the whole surface and then put the beads on top. I know a lot of people will leave gaps where the beads need to be. I don't. It gives me the option later on not to bead if I don't want to, but also I feel the bead is never exactly the same size as the cross stitch. It's either too small and you'll see fabric behind, or it's too big and it'll sit lumpy. And when we wear beads, we wear them on top of our skin and clothes, not dug in, as it were. What else? Oh yeah, purchases, of course, because there's always something. I got this. It's a file, sort of a concertina kind of file. I got it at the thrift store, and I thought that'll be handy for whips. I've never seen one this size before, because it actually takes A4 wallets and it's got 7 pockets, one for every day of the week, so that's 7 whips. I'm really pleased with it because it looks neat and tidy, and I think my husband would appreciate that as well. Normally my whips just pile up downstairs on a side table. I just keep getting a new one out and pile it on top of the old ones that I'm no longer stitching with, and then eventually when they fall over I put them away and start again. That's it for whips purchases. I did buy some old photo frames, picture frames that I thought I might be able to use. If and when I use them, I'll show them. I'm just going to check my notes. Still in the vein of scanning through the internet when you get really bored at work. There's a couple of things that are worth having a look at. One is a sampler that was stitched by the great-great-grandmother of Stephanie. She's the Rainbow Cat Stitcher, and her grandmother stitched it when she was 10 years old. It's different alphabets, different fonts of alphabets, and the colours look so fresh. The frame is so perfect, you'd think it was just finished yesterday. I've seen other samplers in museums or pictures of them, and the colours are always so faded, and sometimes they look moth-eaten, and this one is absolutely perfect. It just shows if your family look after your things, they will go on for well over 100 years with almost no wear and tear. So if you want to see something beautiful, take a look at her channel, her last floss tube. If you like Hayes, I understand Hayes might still have a sale on at the moment, or that might have ended, I don't know. But Jemima, the rocking stitcher, she does a lot of Hayes, and she's got some beautiful work that she can show you. Take a look at her floss tube channel. What am I saying? And Annemiek from the Handwerk Boutique. Sorry, that's an LNS, just about 2.5 hours drive from where I live. She was showing some silk kits that have been produced. The smaller things to stitch that can introduce you to stitching with silk, and they've been produced by Historische Stickmuster, which is a German company. So I took a look at their website. Oh, beautiful, beautiful stuff. If you like ink circles kind of things, take a look at their website. They're absolutely gorgeous designs. And they have a free one, but I haven't managed to get it sent to me. I need my husband to check out the German for that. Those websites are listed below. I don't give links to websites. No, websites I do. I don't give links to FlossTube channels or other things, because I think we all arbitrarily click on links far too often, and it's actually a dangerous habit. What am I saying? Dangerous habit to get into. Sooner or later, I know myself, I'm going to click on the wrong thing and end up with a Trojan in my phone or my laptop. So I just list them. No links. Now, up and coming. Tomorrow, 1st of October, apart from October being the month of Halloween and we can all get our Halloween stuff out, tomorrow is International Coffee Day. Oh, what a coincidence. If I get enough done on my popcorn today, and I think I deserve it, I might start this kit. This is a Thea Gouverneur, and you can tell that by the squared off hook and the little spots around. Oh yeah, and the name Thea here, of course. Quite like that one. And then the 2nd of October is World Smile Day, and this had to make me laugh. 3rd of October is Virus Appreciation Day. As if we haven't had enough of the COVID-19 virus this year. We're supposed to celebrate it and celebrate what viruses have done for our world. Yeah, right. 4th of October is World Animal Day. A good excuse to start stitching on an animal project. And yeah, 10th of October is International Migratory Bird Day. So if you have any bird stitching to do, that could be a good day to do that. And that's it. Yeah. COVID-19 rules. We are looking at a second lockdown in about 3 weeks' time. The numbers of people becoming infected are growing exponentially. There was something about when a person has been exposed to COVID-19, they come into contact with more than 100 people before they know themselves that they are ill. That is something to be taken extremely seriously. And unfortunately, a lot of people like to go out, meet their friends, go from one pub, go somewhere else, even though they have to reserve tables. Each friend reserves a table and then they move from one place to the other. So we're on a partial lockdown, things have to close early. And hopefully if people are very, very strict, the figures are going to increase next week. Hopefully in week 2, in 2 weeks' time, they will level off, and week 3 they will start going down again. If not, we will be in another lockdown. So stay safe, obey the 3 rules, keep your distance, wear your mask, wash your hands. It's not for you, it's for everybody else. The other more than 100 people you will come into contact with before you know you're ill yourself. Now, beyond that, happy stitching, everybody. Let's not get morbid. No, happy stitching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.